Hello guys, welcome back, and today we're gonna be talking about Hollow's Heart. So yeah, let's begin, shall we? But actually, before we actually start, I'm probably going to be making a new episode of Demons and Shinobis. But I'm still working on the character design for the last character that will be appearing in that episode. What do I mean by this? Let's just say it's gonna be finally beating Izuku's old team. Let's just say that. So yeah, let's continue on, shall we, ladies and gents? So, we currently see, or at least we're currently in the void, or in this case, Izuku's sort of like mindscape. As Izuku is currently in this darkness, as while he was basically floating through this darkness, he would say this to himself: "Did I? Oh God! I think I used too much Ryoku, or at least let me just check again." Yeah. As when he said that, he would also say, "What happened to me? So that was my past life. So that is why I have a fear. Those beings," he would say. As after saying that, he would start to feel that he's waking up. Doing so, he would open his eyes into the real world. Looking up, he would see that he's in some sort of tent. As Yusuke would start looking around, seeing that it's some sort of tent, he would also hear a few noises, mostly the sound of moaning. And not the type of moans of pain, but more like, yeah. As well, Izuku heard that, he would say, "Where the hell am I?" As before he can actually, get off of the place that he was currently laying down on, he would notice that he is on a lap. He would look straight up and would notice that he would see the Chimera basically giving him a lap pillow. As when he noticed this, he would jump away, basically going into a fighting stance, as he would say, "You!" He would say, as she would say, "Oh, hello there, honey," she would say, in her lion personality. As when she said that, the snake personality would come out and would say, "Yes, hello there, darling," she would say, almost sounding like a certain blood-sucking, blonde-haired girl from my... yeah, from the original series, yeah. As when she said that, Izuku would say, "Wait for a second. Sorry about that." Anyway, continuing on, as Izuku would basically got up and would get ready into a fighting stance, he would say, You're the one." As before she can act, Izuku would get ready to cut her open, just using his fists, because at the time he doesn't have his Zanpakuto, Los Diablos. As when he was about to strike her, a person would walk in. As another monster girl or woman would appear, resembling that of a one-horned elf-like creature with a tail. As she would say, "Alright, it's time for you to get..." What in the... As she would notice Izuku getting ready to fight what she thought was his wife. As she would say, "Not bad of a stance. Though weird," she would say. As she would raise up her blade, as she would say, "You, male," she would say. As Izuku would look at her, as he would say, "Another enemy," he would say. As when he said that, she would say, "No. Besides, you are an incubus after all, right?" she would say. As when Izuku heard that, he would say, "The hell's an incubus?" As she would notice something off, being that of the several bone-like structures across his body. I mean, it definitely resembles horns, but definitely not normal horns. In fact, most incubus's horns resemble that of. If I remember in the wiki, they're mostly just black, or at least that's what they got from the Alp, which is not going to be joining any of this because, oh boy, if you know what the Alp is, ALP, yeah, that's what it's spelled. Yeah, I'm not adding that. Oh god. Anyway, most incubi are either. Wait for a second. She, or at least most incubi, either have black horns or somewhat like, pure white horns, I guess you could say. But in Izuku's case, his is more bone white. As, in fact, she would notice one prominent thing: a hole in his chest. As she would say, what happened to your chest? She would say. As Izuku would look at his chest, revealing the hollow hole. As he would say, like I said, I don't know what the hell is a incubus as you call it. I'm what you calls a hollow, and a wrong card to be more specific, he would say. As when she heard that, she would say, and a wrong car? She would tilt her head. As, the other person in the room being that of our girl, the Chimera. I almost forgotten to say that she doesn't have a name yet. And also, I'm probably gonna make a poll on what name should we call her. Anyway, she would just look at Izuku once again as she would say, Izuku. Or, as when Izuku heard that, he would say, how do you know my name? What the fuck was that? Sorry about that. That scared the shit out of me. It was just my cat in the corner. Ah, god damn it. Anyway, continuing on. As when he heard that, she would say, oh, it was just the. As before she can ask, you would hear another voice, revealing another woman. More specifically, a one with a. Actually, I'm not gonna say it. I'm just gonna say a somewhat lecherous outfit, and the most prominent parts are the wings, pointed ears, bluish skin color, and not only that, the tail and wings. Izuku seeing this, he would say, "Who are you?" He would say, and she would say, "Ah, so you must be the Arrancar, as you call it," she would say. As when Izuku heard that, he would say, how do you know that? And where am I? He would say, as he would be weakened, still kind of tired from the battle between him and an entire freaking army. Mostly because he doesn't have enough Ryoku right now. As she would say, you should probably rest. I also want to discuss something with you as well. Considering that you're not human, she would say. As the Amazonist right beside her would say, wait, he's not human then. He must be some sort of incubus, right? As she would say, not exactly either. He's different in a way. He's kind of similar to those heroes, except he's, well, dead. When they heard this, like all three of, not really all three, but more like, the two people there, specifically the Chimera and the, and the Amazoness would be wide, would open wide. Or more like, their eyes would basically widen. As, the Chimera would say, wait, he's dead? But I was able to, as she would say, well, let's just say he's different. Follow me. As they would start following her. Izuku in this case reluctantly. As while he was walking, literally behind them, several monster girls in the camp would basically look at them. Most of them either already having a husband or mating with someone at the time, which Izuku was disgusted, by the way. And most, actually unmarried and are currently wanting to, yeah. Considering that he destroyed almost the entirety of the Order's army, there was not enough men at the time. Oh boy, let's just say, Izuku's probably gonna lose his, ability to walk after a few days. Not yet, at least. God. So, as Izuku is currently trying to guard himself, as while he was doing so, currently the Chimera in front of him would basically glare at the girls, aka the girls that are already or at least the ones that are not married or have a mate yet. As when they saw this, they would think, God damn it, he's already married. As while they're walking behind, the demon, or at least the woman right in front of him, would say, so you're wondering, what the hell am I? She would say. As Izuku would say, yes. Also, where's my Zanpakuto? Toe? He would say. As she would say, oh, don't worry. As she would reveal his Zanpakuto. Toe. Revealing Los Diablos, which is in its, default state, which I forgot to put in, by the way. So, it looks like the Soul Splitter Katana from JJK. The reason why is going to be pretty prevalent when he shows off his actual resurrection. Trust me, it's gonna be interesting. So, as she would be holding it, Izuku would just be pissed off, saying, what do you want? As she would say, oh, nothing. I just wanted to say sorry, to say the least, she would say. As when Izuku heard it, he would say, sorry for what? As she would say, well, considering that I saw your memories, and as when Izuku heard that, he would say, you saw my memories? How the hell did you? As she would say, well, considering that I'm a demon, not only that, a one with exceptional talent with magic, especially brainwashing and memory manipulation, I was able to see everything, she would say. While saying it, Izuku would be pissed off, but also kind of scared. Considering that he's considered as the most composed, yeah, you can already imagine his emotions right now. As when Izuku heard that, he would say, so, what are you going to do with them? As she would say, oh, I was just curious, that's all, she would say. Though, the idea of you being a male, the only male that wants to become a hero in a world filled with women that are superpowered and pretty much ridicules all men, I can already imagine your anger, your rage, and I feel sorry for that. Though it doesn't mean that you have to literally force yourself to basically, how do I say it? Yes, basically avoid women entirely. Especially learning about your world. More specifically, what you call as Las Noches, the land between life and death itself, where hollows force themselves to cannibalize each other, as you call it. Hearing that, both the Amazoness and our Chimera over here would just be wide-eyed. As she would say, you cannibalized each other? Said the Chimera. As you would say, it's for survival of the fittest. It doesn't fucking matter. As while saying this, he would have a tinge of heartache, even though it feels wrong for a hollow like him. As Izuku would say, so what do you want? As she would say, well, I just felt curious. Also, considering that you hate women, I'm surprised that you still decide to, stay around. As Izuku says, well, considering that you have my Zanpakuto Toe, as she would say, fine then, but I want one request of you before you leave. As he would say, fine, what is it? And so, this is where we end off this episode. So yeah, bye bye, ladies and gents.